We didn't have to go anywhere. Kind of happy on this cold morning. But you know what? I got out this morning, took my dog for a good walk because as I looked at the hourly, it's going to get colder and colder throughout the day. So I'm like, this is our chance to get out for a little bit longer. So we've got our Bodysculpt class today. Grab some dumbbells, and I'm going to use a couple different sizes today, but we're actually only ever going to hold one dumbbell at a time. So you certainly can hold more than one, but I've created the plan based on only holding one in the event that either you have small ones that you want to hold two in one hand, or you only have one thing at home, or if you don't have any dumbbells, let me grab my trusty laundry detergent. I've been showing this, something like this is a great choice because you've got the handle, you can hold it. So there are lots of things that you can find at home that can be super useful to use. Okay, so we're going to get ourselves warmed up because it is chilly outside. We'll do a nice good warm up to make sure your bodies are ready to go. Hopefully you can hear me. Okay, and I'll get the music going. Okay, good. We're okay with the music. So just pipe in. Give me, you can type into the chat if you're having trouble hearing me or anything like that. Okay, here we go. We're gonna squat right to left. I know some of those of you that are used to coming in person with me, we're not gonna use our towel today. What? I know, you're really used to using the towel. I'm just gonna get my laundry detergent out of view. So here's what's coming. Do a rotation through your rib cage as you reach across towards the leg that's stepping out. But notice, I'm still sitting evenly into both legs. It doesn't need to be deep, right? We're just getting our body prepped. Now open up on a diagonal, then swing your hips back towards me. So you can face your head into the right and then the left corner of your space. So welcome to my basement. Here's what's coming next. 10 toes stay forward. It's a lateral lunge. Notice I really keep my trail foot nice and flat. So you're going to have a nice long inner thigh stretch, and then your hips get to shift side to side. Now you can add a reach. So don't worry if you feel like, oh, this is a lot of stuff I'm throwing at you. We're going to go through it more than once so that your body and brain can start to move in unison. Then we use our lead leg as a prop. Again, you're spinning your ribs towards the opposing wall. Ugh. Beautiful. Right leg goes back. Press your hips forward and switch. Now, as I said, I'm in the basement, so it's not a super high ceiling down here. The fact that I can almost touch it when I lift my arms up. So it doesn't give you a lot of perspective. Lengthen both arms. So a great opportunity to get a stretch and open up through the whole front side of your body. Now here comes the next change. One arm, but as you step and reach, again, putting in some rotation. So I'm prepping your whole body for what's to come. Couple more. The right junk, right heel comes forward. Push your hips back. As you step forward, your knee can absolutely be bent. It's going to depend what's happening back here with your hamstrings, how they're feeling this morning. Reach and pull like a big scooping motion. Scoop and pick something up. I've been thinking about sort of grabbing a bucket and then pouring the water, nice warm water over me. That's been what my thoughts with this one. Rotate right leg in and switch. So look, your feet are essentially making a T shape. Don't worry if your leg doesn't rotate all the way around so that your feet might not be perpendicular. Mine aren't. Now look at this reach that I've added. So your shoulder blades are actually meant to have some movement along your back, right? To be able to slide and move a little, but often ours are quite stuck. So we're just moving them a little. Okay, one more move. Crouch forward to me. Push off. I'll show you from the side. So you step into this short striding motion. Now there is a method to this madness. Most of these movements we're going to see throughout our workout. If you'd like, reach and pull, picking something up off the ground, and then you're going to put it in your side pocket. So notice I've had you do a fair bit of rotation throughout the warm up. Let's go from the top and squat. Add the reach right away or not, right? Second time through, you might be able to go a bit deeper. Good, good. How about we try the diagonal squat? Open right corner, come back. Left corner, come back. As we find our way towards the end of the warm-up, the preparation phase, I'll give you a little more information about what's coming. Join me, lateral lunge. You can add this reach again or not. It's always your choice. But hopefully second time through starts to make a bit more sense. How about you spin your ribs around? 4 to go. Good, last one. Now right leg goes back, reach both arms up. If you're like me, sitting a lot in between, dog walks and whatever, little extra Netflix watching, this movement is so great for combating seated posture. Same with this one, right? It's sort of the opposite of when we're stuck sitting like that, yeah? Oops, I got us off there. 4 more. Ugh. Good, one more. Now right heel comes forward, scoop, find your nice warm bucket of water, and then pour it over your head. Or we can pretend it's summer and we're doing an ice bucket challenge. Right foot rotates in, right leg rotates in, then switch. So I'm definitely noticing heat starting to move throughout my whole body. I hope you feel the same way. Our last movement is the crouch forward, pick something up and switch. So I'm going to guess, I don't know if I know, must be some good prizes up for grabs for this virtual challenge. Good, last one. All right, shake out whatever you need. You need one weight. So here's the deal. Cassandra was with me yesterday morning at 7:30. So we're going to do a unilateral move, meaning we're going to focus on one side of the body. Then we're going to do something that works bilaterally. And of course, we're going to do the other side. So our first move, don't be alarmed by the size of these because they're adjustable. This is set at 10 pounds. I'll probably be using 10 and then 15 today for certain things. So your one dumbbell goes into your left hand. You're standing on your right foot. We're going to start with a single leg deadlift, okay? So my left heel comes to the ceiling, or you slide your foot along the floor for additional balance. But I'm going to add a whole bunch of extra things to that to make it this really integrated movement. So let me show you. So we'll tip. We're going to pull and row, so shoulder blade into your spine. Then as you rise, your foot can come down all the way, or toes, or you can lift your knee. We'll do a bicep curl to an overhead press, and then reverse. And we're going to keep doing the same leg. This is our unilateral movement. Okay, we're going to aim for about 8 of them. Let me just warn you, your ankle, all those little stabilizers, they're going to start to burn. So if you need to stop or take a break, please feel free. Because we did this yesterday, and that's exactly how I felt. So plant your right leg. We're not worrying about moving to the beat of the music. Tip, pull and row. Now as you rise up, foot down or not, knee up maybe, then do a press. Okay, then we come back down. Toes can touch at any point, right? So I'm going to provide all these variations of the movement, and then I want you to pick and choose what works best for you today. Okay, and then every day can be slightly different depending on what you ate, how much you slept. Have you had caffeine yet this morning? Have you not had your caffeine? What kind of workout or movement did you do yesterday? So many factors influence how we feel on a day-to-day basis. That's 5. So I'm really lifting my left heel. My standing leg, my right leg, is bent, and it's the one that's really, really working, okay? This leg is gesturing. Pull. But my right leg is on fire right now. We've got one more. Tip and hold, pull and row, curl and press. Good. Now we're not going to the other side yet. I'm going to grab a slightly heavier weight. So here's our bilateral movement. Okay. So I've got my feet a little bit wider than shoulder distance. I'll show you. My legs are going to do this. So my heel will lift so I can thrust and generate power by pushing through my hip. And then I'll show you what our weight's going to do. Long, strong arms, push. And then you bring your dumbbell. Think about that rotational move we did with the lateral lunge, right? So you're getting your dumbbell basically parallel to the side wall, but it comes from strong hip swing, hip drive. So for my racket fans out there, this is how you generate more power. It's through your hips. When you're swinging your tennis racket or your badminton racket or even pickleball, right? Ugh, I love the way. You may also notice on this movement that you get a little breathy. Your heart rate goes up a touch, a titch, a titch. 8 more. Go. Push from your hip. Come on. Drive it up. 2 more. Good. All right. So I'm going to keep my 15-pounder and put it down on the ground. Okay. So we warmed up that crouch, that kind of short stride movement. Just a little word of warning. It's far to get down to the ground to pick this up. So you don't have to put it all the way on the ground, or go grab a chair or a table, a low table like your coffee table, to put it on. So let me show you what we're doing first, and then you can strategize. So right leg comes forward. Here's our crouch that we practiced, back heels lifted. I'm going to pick up my dumbbell and rotate to the right, put it back down, and then step back, but the right leg's going to go again. It's our unilateral move. So join me when you're ready. Again, we're not worrying about moving to the music. So here's what it looks like if you don't want to put the dumbbell all the way down. Look, so right leg's forward. I just pretend to pick, well, I mean, I pick it up. I just didn't put it all the way down. So that works as well. You crouch, rotate, crouch. Now I'm going to show you from the side. Crouch, twist to the right. If you want to put it all the way down, notice how my back heel comes up so I can get some extra depth through my hips, knees, and ankles. It is a long way down to the ground. Oh, not as long for me because I'm not very tall. Okay, I'm going to do 2 more. On this last one, instead of putting the dumbbell all the way down, just pretend and then step back. Okay, good. So back to something bilateral. Your feet are hip distance apart. Bend your knees a little bit. It'll give you more stability, I promise. And you can test it out if you want. So now we'll circle. This is called the halo. Then left heel comes up. It's like your wind up. So you can circle around the other direction. Now you can adjust the length of your arms, how far the dumbbell is from you, to change the intensity of the movement. Especially if you want something more and you're limited by the load you can lift, just take your arms out further, okay? All right, this time we are going to go to the music. Ready? Circle to the right, right? Lift your left heel, rotate. Now go to the left. I'll show you from the side so you can see how I circle all the way around my head and then the other direction. Circle. So as I was mentioning, if you want to adjust the intensity, you can take your arms and lengthen them so the weight is further from you, so the lever is longer, or feel free to keep it in nice and tight, closer to you. Lots of shoulder strength and mobility, and a little bit of core work that helps us stay stable, and then we wind it up. Also, think about coordinating all these body parts. That's the benefit of adding in integrated movement, some brain training. Under. Good, keep going. 8 more in total. All the bullets. Sorry, I'm gonna try not to sing. Oh, it's so hard. 4 to go. Oh, good. 2 more. So we're halfway through our first big pattern of movements. So now we go down to get this big guy out of the way, just for a moment. You've got your dumbbell in your right hand for the single leg deadlift sequence. Same sequence, but now we're on the other side of our body. I'm going to grab a quick sip of water. So we did 8 of them. We're going to try 8 again or something close to that if you don't exactly remember how many you did. Okay? Plant your left leg. Stand nice and tall. Here we go. So we tip, row, pull your shoulder blade towards your spine. Foot can land or not. Knee can come up or not. Curl and press. Then lower. Big row. Well, at least the sidewalks got to melt yesterday before this cold spell came in. They were so slippery yesterday morning. But now they're good, at least around me. Press and the floor is right there. Anytime you want to take your toes down to help with your balance. Sorry, I'm having trouble getting those words out. Let's tip. Nice long spine. So I'm gazing towards the floor to keep my neck aligned with my spine. Gloria. Sorry, I had to sing that one. Oh, wiggles and wobbles, so good for us. Good for our core, good for our brain, improving our balance. Okay, my friends, we have one more. Gloria. Pull. Oh, now my left leg is hurting as much as my right one did, especially my ankle. Do you feel your stabilizers? Holy moly. Okay. Grabbing my slightly heavier weight again. What was my, oh yeah. Okay, so you can hold your weight up in this position. It's called the goblet hold. Or if you have 2 dumbbells and you want one each shoulder, you could have them down here, but once you see the movement, you may decide that you'd rather have them up on your shoulders if you have 2. Okay, so feet hip distance apart, left leg lunges back, then you're going to rotate. Then as we step into switch legs, if you want, you can do a push press. But your push press, and as you step in, is all this power you generate from your legs, okay? So we're working on building power. Let's give it a go. Right or left leg back, left, twist, step in and switch legs. So I'm going to do a few first to show you, and then I'll add in the push press. See how vertical? I keep my spine when I twist. Now I'm going to add in the push press. Notice from the back, I push to drive the dumbbell up. So another integrated combination where you may start to notice your breathing rate will go up, your heart rate will go up. How deep is your lunge? Doesn't matter. What do you want? Just drop your back knee under your hip. Ugh. And push. Ugh. Good. I lost my balance there, so I used it as a chance to turn back to you. Good cover up. Push. Drop. In the real world. Can we do 8 more in total? Drop. Twist, of course. You can take out the twist. You can take out the push, right? They're just options so that you can vary the movement to your liking.
What time is your call this morning?
4 more. When we add more movement variability, we don't need to lift as much weight for the same outcome. And I know at home, we're kind of limited.
Class has got, look at her. She's doing like
weight choices. This is our last one. Good. Whew. Okay. Whew. That was hard. I'm having a mental block. Oh, right, the crouch. Good thing I write down my workouts. So now we're going back to that crouching motion, but now our left leg steps forward. So knowing what you know, maybe you want to elevate your dumbbell, or maybe you're going to keep it up off the ground. So Let's get going. We're going to aim for 8 again as our total. So we step, pick it up, rotate to the left, and you do not have to go at the same pace as me. So if you do a slightly different number, who cares? We're mobilizing and strengthening through our hips, knees, and ankles. And here's what it looks like. If you don't want to put it on something, but don't quite want to put it all the way down to the ground. Nice. Bum, bum, bum. Rotate. I'm going to put it back down. I'm halfway through my 8. Now, maybe you're going at a faster pace than me. That's also fine. You can do more than 8 reps. It's also fine if your knee kind of pings out or you take a wider stance. That can help if you're tight through your hips, but also with balance. Uh-oh, I think I lost count. Is this 7 or 8? I'm going to say it's 7. Better to do an extra. Okay, I got one more. Where are you at? Then we have one more bilateral movement here. So don't put it all the way down. Just pretend. One more bilateral movement, and that wraps up this first full sequence of 8 different exercises. Okay, goblet again, or a dumbbell on each shoulder. We warmed up the diagonal squat. Let's practice it now that we have a load, or you can always go without. And then I'm going to give you an arm action to pick to do or not today. So press your knees out towards your pinky toes. If you want to move, but not really into the diagonal, look, you can do this one where you go side to side. That's how we learned it in the warm-up.
We walk along and we get some fruit and vegetables.
Good. Okay. Can I show you? You keep moving, but take a look at me. You can add a bicep curl. Then I want you to think of some power to push yourself. The bicep curl makes me feel like it's catapulting me back to the center. Good. Open, lengthen, pull back in. Pull back in. Good. Okay, my friends, we're going to do 8 more in total. So maybe that helps you make a decision. You want to get rid of your weight or maybe stop doing the bicep curl. Four to go. You got it. Yeah, baby, she's got it. You got it, you got it, we got it. Right? We're all just living Groundhog Day.
I'm like, that's what I'm
Beautiful.
doing.
Okay, so our first sequence is complete. Grab a little bit of water before we dive into sequence number 2, okay? We're going to get through our next set of 8, and then we'll do some
Debbie,
stretching.
can you just make sure everybody's muted, please?
Same idea, something unilateral,
It's the right way.
followed by something bilateral. Okay, while you're grabbing your water, getting yourself prepared, let me show you first without the dumbbell so you can see what's happening with my legs. So we did this alternating lateral lunge. Same idea with the legs, except it's going to be static. So 10 toes are forward. We're going to shift. Notice how I shift. So this leg is all stacked, ankle, knee, and hip, okay? But we're going to rotate and bring our dumbbell around. So I just wanted you to see this movement because once I grab the dumbbell, it can be a bit of a block. Okay, you ready? So we slide down our right leg, come back to the center. Slide down as you push into your left hip. I'm going to show you this. You can see how my hip comes towards you. And I'm going to show you from this side so you can see how my body twists. Okay, good. Now, another choice. Pull, upright row. Shift and reach, upright row. So we can do all sorts of interesting positions to really strengthen our body while we get healthier by moving our hips in different ways and building resilient bodies prepared for anything. Plus, I find it more fun when we move in more interesting directions, different positions. The time for me goes so much faster. Okay, keep going. 4 more. Yeah, baby. You don't have
Wow.
to do this upright row, but watch my body
Yes.
position. The
Okay.
dumbbell pulls straight up. Last one.
2, 3, 6, 3, 7.
Good. Just tuck your
Oh,
dumbbell out of the way. So we don't need any weight for this next movement. So lots of
2.
mobility work, some core work as well. Your legs come wide. It's called a bear crawl. Let me show you. So I'm going to walk forward into a plank. Then we're
2, 3,
actually going to hold our plank for a bit. Then take your legs wide, push your hips back to shift and stand. I'll show you from the side. So wide legs gives me space to fit so I can walk. Okay, then wide legs, I'm going to shift. Now, you can start here. You can start here if you're just not quite wanting to go up and down all the time, right? Okay, but we're practicing that ability to get up and down. So, join me when you're ready. Walk. Now, I'm going to put my feet in and hold my plank. Knees can lower at any point. Draw your shoulders down. Now, take your feet wide so you can walk back. Stay or stand. Crawl forward. Oh, Teresa, I changed this one. Or Cassandra, sorry, I changed this one from yesterday. I just thought it'd be nice to hold our plank. Okay, take your legs wide. Walk it back. Stay or stand. Come into your plank. Hold. Bum, 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 bum. You ready? Take your feet wide. Walk it back. Stay or stand. Let's do that a few more times. Hold. So it is also good to do some unloaded training, working core strength and lots of mobility. Feet wide, walk, back. How about 2 more times? Bum, bum, bum. My wrists, under shoulders, knees can be down. Ready? Walk it back. Okay, last one. Walk, hold your plank. Draw your shoulders down, belly's in. We'll stay just a touch longer. Ba, ba, ba. Are you dripping some sweat, making some sweat marks on your floor? Okay, you ready? Take your legs wide so you can walk back and stand. If you decided to stay down, then just muddle your way back up to a stand and grab your dumbbell. Right, round, round, round. Same option. Goblet, or of course, one dumbbell on each shoulder, or just get rid of your dumbbell altogether. So feet are back to hip distance apart. So choice number 1, a reverse lunge, or choice number 2, crossover. I want you to notice when I do the crossover, I'm keeping my hips as forward as I can instead of letting this happen, okay? So that's the key. We're trying to resist that temptation to open. So a crossover lunge. Then I'm gonna build up to adding in a balance component if you want it. Sorry, this one we are gonna go to the music, so I'm gonna wait for the musical phrase to start. 8, 7, 6, 5. Right leg goes back. So you can cross and then reset, or you can do a reverse lunge if you prefer. Bum, 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 bum. Now take a look. Maybe you start to build in a bit of a balance element by letting just the ball of your foot land. Or maybe you start to build this up and lift your knee, okay? Give it a go. It doesn't have to be high. Maybe you let your foot hover off the ground and just test it out. Right round, baby. Draw your belly button in. So pretend if you don't have a drawstring, like I don't have a drawstring on these tights, but pretend you do. You're going to pull that drawstring really tight. So the idea is you're cinching everything around your waistline, around your spine. I can really feel my left hip. Okay, just 2 more. Ugh. Good, last one. Beautiful. Oh, shake it out, shake it out. Oh, I'm going to change the order of these 2 movements that I put in here. Now, back to the goblet hold, or one dumbbell in each shoulder. But we're going to be, actually, that won't really work. Never mind, because we're going to move side to side. So think of the goblet hold, but once I show you the move, that'll make more sense. It's not really a squat. It's like a hip shift, so you can do a big power push press as opposed to a deep squat. Although if you want to squat, you can. Now I'm going to shift my dumbbell over to my right shoulder so that when I push, I'm going to go shoulder to shoulder. You ready? From the right, sink, push to the left shoulder. Drive it up. Now look from the side how I use my legs and hips. My weight becomes weightless for a moment at the top of the extension. Another movement that's likely going to get your heart rate elevated, so your breathing rate will follow along. Keep going. Boom, 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 boom. Gangnam Style. If you're singing along at home, I totally get it. Let's do 8 more in total. 8. Sexy lady. 4 more. Last one, last one. Whew. Okay, I need to put my dumbbell down for a moment. Shake out my poor shoulders. I'm gonna grab a quick sip of water. So now the hip shift, we're gonna go this way. So 10 toes forward, moving into your right hip as your left leg stays. It gets slippery on this, I don't know, it's slippery on this side of my room. So I'm gonna wet my feet a little, wet my shoes, just like I would on the court if it was slippery. Okay, grab your dumbbell. Now you know what to expect, but it still will feel funny, especially because we haven't practiced going the other way yet. Okay, you ready? So you're gonna slide down your left leg. I'm gonna start with just focusing on the slide and the reset. Push into your right hip. My shoulder blades are still pulling back and down to keep my spine nice and long. I'll show you to the upright row add-on. You decide if you want to add this pull motion. It's like you've got a tight zipper on your winter coat and you need it today, so you gotta pull that zipper up. Sexy lady. Gangnam Style. If you're doing the little Gangnam dance, you put your weights down and do the Gangnam Style dance. You have my full permission. Reach and pull. Good. 4 more. 3. Almost there. Last one, last one. Oh, man. Okay. Oh, your shoulders are not going to be happy with this next move. In fact, I'm going to switch to my 10-pounder for this one before I go back to my 15. So instead of circling around our head, we're going to circle in front of our body like this. So this time we are going to keep our feet really solid, and I'm going to make a circle and then unwind and go the other way. But the same principles apply. I can make my circle small by bending my arms, or I can make my circle bigger by lengthening. And then instead of this kind of movement, bend your knees, keep this part of your body as still as you can. You ready? Let's circle right. Now go left. I'm giving your legs a wee bit of a break because we're going back to the crossover lunge after this. Lots of shoulder work here, core work as well. Bum, 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 bum. I'll show you from this side. So I'm staying as upright as possible. Nice vertical spinal position. then you can see that I'm keeping my body forward. So I'm not twisting towards you. It would look really different if I was letting my body twist. I'm really glad right now I switched to my 10-pound weight, or you would be seeing a whole lot of struggle on my face. It's just easier to hide it with this dumbbell. Let's do 8 more in total. Yes. Come on. We're getting close to the end of the work. 4 more. If you're keeping track of the pattern, we have 2 exercises left after this one, and then we get to stretch. Last one. Oh, amazing. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, I'm going to grab my 15-pounder because that's what I had on the other side. So the crossover lunge. Remember your dumbbell choices, or maybe you go without. All good. But this time it's our left leg that goes back. So maybe you're crossing back, keeping your hips forward, or maybe you're stepping straight back in a reverse lunge. They're both great. Just figure out which one is better for you to choose today. If you want, maybe you start integrating a bit of balance training into this, or maybe you lift your foot just a little, and then when you build your confidence, you can try lifting your knee, push into your right hip, balance, draw your belly button in, so pull your drawstring a little tighter. That will help with your stability, I promise. Now, instead of looking at me, you could also look at a spot on the floor. That definitely helps as well. Can we do 8 more? Oh yeah, final 4. Last one. Now my right leg is on fire. Oh man. Okay, grab your mat if you want it. Our final strength exercise is going to be done in a seated position, and then we'll have time to do some good mobility work. Ooh, grab a sip of water if you need it. I know I need it. Perfect timing. So we're going to do a Russian twist. Okay? So I'm going to show you first the position from the side in terms of setting up your spinal position. Have a seat, quite literally. Grab all the good stuff. Those of you that come in person with me, you know what I'm talking about. So those bones in your bum, you feel you're anchored on them. And then you'll notice that your spine just goes like, whoop. As soon as you let your pelvis roll and you come on your butt cheeks, then you got that round position in your lower back. So I don't want that, okay? And then you're going to tip back just until you stick. As soon as you feel like you got to roll through your pelvis, come back up, okay? You can keep your feet down. Maybe you'll lift one, maybe you'll lift both. Here's what the Russian twist looks like if you want to go without weight, right? Very valuable. Sometimes I'd like to do it like this. Keep your armpits in. So instead of your arms doing the work, your torso's rotating, okay? So it's meant to be, we're building rotary power. So we want the rotation through our torso instead of my arms doing the work, okay? So I'm going to tuck my armpits in and then twist. So I'll show you from the side so you can actually see how my body twists. So maybe you lift one foot and then sometimes you switch. Some of you may have both legs up. I'm happy to keep my legs down right now. Grooves in the hall. We don't need a lot of these at the end of this workout, right? We've been working hard and very steady. Think how much we've accomplished in not quite 45 minutes yet, but pretty close. So I still am thinking about my drawstring. Good. We've got 8, 7. Wiggle it just a little bit. 4 more. last one, last one. Oh, okay. And I just tuck my dumbbell out of the way. You can stay where you're at. Let's stretch from a seated position today. I'm just gonna adjust our music. So go ahead, as I'm changing up the music, go ahead and bring your right leg out in front. Your left foot can land wherever it wants to land, okay? Come right up on your bum bones. And then just give a little bend to your right leg if you need that to be able to get into position. Bum, 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 bum. So take a nice big breath. Shift your body forward. And then it's your upper back that can release. Oh, and of course, just bend your knee as much as you need to, as I mentioned, so that you can quite literally let your rib cage rest on your thigh. Okay, that's the side view, so you actually makes a little bit of sense what I'm talking about. Ooh, we did a lot of work for our hammies. Got to make sure we stretch out our poor hips as well. So we'll do a mobility squat towards the end of our reconditioning work. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're enjoying this virtual challenge. It gives you something to, makes it purposeful to try some new things. Shift your weight. You can be on your hand or your forearm. Then grab your foot, or maybe you're grabbing onto your pant leg, or you put a little towel or something if it's hard to grab your foot. So you're going to push your hip forward. So we stretch our hip and our quadricep. I love this position because it takes away that whole balance component that, when we're doing a standing quad stretch, can really make it hard to actually stretch your quadricep. Tumble and fall. I can hear someone walking around. I don't know if it's Stefan or my son. If any of you have kids in TDSB, PA day today, take your right leg out wide now, and again, can be bent, okay? Reach. We're going to glide through our ribs. So I want you to glide as far as you can and wherever your hand lands. Maybe you grab your foot. Maybe it's better on the floor or just resting somewhere on your leg, and spin through your ribs. Yeah, so for sure, my son, pretty sure he's still sleeping. I have no idea what time he went to bed last night, but he's 13, so he will, he's at that age where he will sleep in. Rise up, take your left arm, so spin around and reach across your right leg. And again, your leg might be totally bent, all good. Stand by me. Take a big breath. Exhale. Okay, sorry, I might keep you. Are we okay? I might keep you like 1 or 2 extra minutes. So if you have to go, I'm so sorry. But I want to make sure we get this good stretch in. Let's switch legs. So take a big breath. Pitch forward from your hips and release. Okay. Yeah, maybe an extra minute. Sorry. Sorry, Jen and Derek. Hopefully nobody needs the Zoom link right at 10:15. Then shift your weight, remember, up or lower, doesn't matter. I'm actually resting my knee as a bit of an anchor so I can think of really pushing my hip forward. You might even push your shoelaces into your hand. Well, what's happening this weekend? There's football playoffs. The Leafs are playing to Saturday night at 7. I'm going to guess the Raptors play tonight. So there's that. What else? I think Hotel Transylvania is coming out on Prime. Those are fun animated movies. Glide and Reach. What else? Outdoor skating rinks are open, although it's going to be, polar vortex tomorrow. So the good news is they won't be that busy. Rise up, reach. There's always the decluttering of the house, round 5, where we've been doing that. So that is a very positive from COVID. Our house has never been this organized. Okay, now there's not a pretty way to get into this, so I just want you to come around onto your hands and knees and then just tuck your toes. Let's do, okay, take your, sorry, it wasn't going to be graceful no matter how I did it. So legs come wide, so maybe your mobility squat is here, right? Depends on your hips. Maybe your feet are closer. And it doesn't matter if you come low like I'm doing, but your heels come off the ground. That's fine. That's fine. But I'm going to use my arms to press my legs and open them up. So, a great opportunity to get some relief through your low back. Second last stretch, I promise. We won't stay here a long time, although if you have the opportunity to do this somewhat regularly, oh, so good for us. Think about how the, little guys, right? They start like this, and then they eventually start standing and walking. And in many places throughout the world, this is a position of rest. Now put your hands down so you can lift your hips, and then just let your body hang here. Bend knees so ribs touch. Just another release for your lower back. I find this one magical. It's like traction. What I really need to do is stay here for like 10 minutes just to really let it go, but we won't. Now, like a rag doll, roll up. And when you get to the top, press to open. Then release and roll your shoulders. Okay, everybody, let me come in and stop the recording. Sorry, a few extra minutes. Let me just stop that recording. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, recording's